We're getting to the stone laying. You get adjusted here real quick. This is the section we're going to be filling in this evening. Sort of get an angle there. Hey Tom, nice to see you. I'm going to get straight to the building here tonight. Got a lot of work to do and a short time to do it. So while everybody's coming in, I'm gonna go straight to building here as soon as we get you guys at a decent angle, where you can see what the hell I'm up to, and I can kind of see you. Just making some quick adjustments here. If you could, please hit that thumbs up and share this out. Let everybody know that we're streaming now. We are only going to be streaming for about an hour tonight. Last night we streamed for over 3 hours. We came out here and started working on the build a little bit before the stream started, and then we wandered off into the forest and went on an adventure that turned into a 3-hour live stream. So there's that. Tonight it's going to be a little bit different. Tonight I got to get some of the work done. We're only going to be streaming for about an hour. That 3+ hour live stream that we hosted last night is still in processing. YouTube still has it in processing. So yeah, we're going to cut the stream a little short tonight for a couple of reasons. One, the streams went way too long. There ain't nobody going to watch a 3-hour video. Two, I got a date with my wife tonight. We're going to be sitting down and watching Bachelor in Paradise, and I cannot wait for that. But yeah, that comes on at 8, so I'm going to stream for about an hour, a little over an hour, maybe till about 7:15. Then head on out and go spend some time with the wife this evening. We'll be back out here again tomorrow, doing a lot of wood processing and trying to pull that giant-ass crystal out of the creek that we found in yesterday's live stream about 3/4 of the way through the stream. So yeah, I want to get these 2 sections done here. Got about an hour to do it. We're still waiting for a few people to come in. Rich, glad you could make it, buddy. Eating a brisket entree MRE. That's a pretty good way to spend an episode, right? So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get muddy here. I'm gonna get, I got plenty of cob mixed up, and I got the stone all hauled up here, but I need to get these done, and I got about an hour to do it all. So we'll let a few more people come into the stream. I'll try to pay attention to who's coming in. If I do miss you saying hello, I apologize, and just need to focus on the work tonight. Got about an hour to do it before I got date night with the wife. So we're going to get whatever we can done. And then tomorrow is going to be a lot bigger day. We'll be out here filming Friday night's episode of the regular Huntsman series, the Friday night episode. And I'm thinking about doing 2 live streams tomorrow, one in the afternoon and then one tomorrow evening. So there might be a double up for tomorrow, and I might do that just because I don't know if I'm going to be streaming on Thursday night. After I get off of work, we'll have to see how that all works out. So I got my basket full of cob pre-mixed here. We got the pit all ready to go in the back to grab some more. So everything as far as our materials are already pre-prepared for the live stream. All we got to do is get our hands on the shoulder and start stacking this stone. We stacked this here. Hey Jefferson, glad you could make it. We stacked this here yesterday, and it gave us a pretty stable foundation for the rest of the stones, but these have to be completely encased in clay, just like the back stones were. Weathering, cracking, things like that will wash off all of the excess, but once we get this up, the whole wall's got to be encased. So we got a lot of clay that we have to haul up here yet. We should have enough to at least get one side of these done fairly easily. It does not spread out too much. It takes a lot of clay to do this kind of stuff. So we're going to try to get this section done. We got the pit ready to go for another basket load. We got some more back there ready to throw some water in and get it. We'll just make as much progress as we can here tonight. So let me go ahead and get dirty. Once I get my hands dirty, we might take a walk down the creek so I can wash off, and then I'll sit down and talk to you guys for a while. Like I said, and I've said on previous streams, I cannot share this on Facebook. I can only share it on Twitter. So you guys coming into the stream, if you could please share it out. Let everybody know that we're live streaming, and they should come and see this crazy ass shit that we all do together. Get them on in here, invite them all in, and if they come around and they stick around for a while, we'll go ahead and etch their names on the stone that we picked out yesterday. For those who missed that, we'll say that right here at the beginning of the live stream. We picked out a stone yesterday. Everybody who supports the channel in one fashion or another, whether it's a super chat right here in the live stream, or donating to the PayPal link on the channel, or sharing videos, liking videos, leaving comments on the videos, loyal subscribers to the channel will have their names etched in a stone that will be placed right here at the camp. It'll be the last piece of this bushcraft build. Well, it's all of my subscribers' names etched in stone as part of the community that helped build this structure. And they're helping building it just by being there for moral support. So if they get in here and they hang out with us for long enough, they'll have their names etched on that stone too. I'm making this quick and messy, guys. I really am going to try to get this damn wall up. Whip it in there nice and tight. Having these go up slow is actually a good thing. It's giving us a nice solid foundation. The walls come out really sturdy by the time we get done. Here in a second, I'll try to give you guys a better angle of what I'm doing here. I mean, it's pretty basic stone laying. Taking a fibrous clay mix and just stacking stone just like you stack brick. But with this, and in this type of environment, you got to encase the whole thing. You can't just lay it like brick and leave the stone exposed. The stone's going to get exposed eventually with weathering, but you really need to slather a lot of this stuff on, knowing that it's going to shrink, it's going to crack, and the more you have on there, the better. It's just less work for you to do later, and it gives that much more stability to your wall. It's not like you're gonna run out of dirt, right? Tell you what, gathering this shit up is a hell of a lot easier than going through a bunch of wood process and having to have everything cut perfectly and all that shit. Because I just dig it out of the ground, bring it up here, mix some water with it, put some fibrous plant material in it, and it turns to concrete when it dries. It's just that perfect mix of clay, sand, and very small pieces of gravel. We got lucky with that. There ain't too many places that can say they got this kind of building material, this much building material that readily available to them, which is why they tend to go with wood. I did see a scenario last night, though, where most of the forest in the world had been depleted. So nobody in that scenario wanted to use any wood, even dead standing, to build houses or survival shelters with, because wood had become that precious. The scenario came up with the wildfires that are burning all over the world, especially down in the Amazon. What happens if we don't have wood to build with? I mean, every house out there is built with wood, so what's your building material when you don't have the wood? So in that scenario, the scenario that I watched play out, they actually dug their homes into the side of the hills. They were in the Appalachia area, so it was in the side of mountainous terrain, and they built their houses underground to preserve the few trees that were left in that survival scenario. So they did take that into consideration, which I don't know if a lot of people would do. People like instant gratification, and they have that xenophobia working with materials that they don't know anything about. I've never laid stone before. Here I am doing it. It's pretty common sense. And there are some lessons that the stone and the mixes itself will teach you. If the mix is wrong, it's going to crack more, or it won't hold up, it'll crumble on you. Kind of get a cookie structure, like a cookie crumb texture to it, and it just falls off of the stone. If you got the clay, sand, gravel mix right, it comes out feeling like concrete. Hey from Houston, hey from Northeast Ohio. We're going to give you guys a little bit different perspective of this wall here in a second. I'm just trying to get up the stone that I have right here with the cob that I have mixed up. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, I have a date with my wife tonight, so we're only going to be streaming for about an hour. But we will get some progress done. A little bit shallower, so yeah, I think we can do that. For those of you who might be new in the live stream tonight, this is a hybrid shelter. We're building this out of wood, stone, and basically debris. We're harvesting very cellulose-filled grass stalks that we're adding to the ceiling as a layer of insulation. But by the time we get this build done, majority of it's going to be encased in clay. All of the beams in the roof are going to have clay chinking to it. We have the stone reflective walls, one in the back, and then these two reflective walls up front, so the heat bounces around inside the structure. I do live in Northeast Ohio, close to the Pennsylvania line, right on the edge of Lake Erie, so I'm in the snow belt, and we get some nasty ass weather coming down from the Arctic. So whenever I come out here to build a structure, I want to make sure that it can hold up against blizzard-like conditions, which is why I use the materials that I'm using here. I'm not just using wood. I'm using stone as reflective barriers and to help support the structure. These stone walls turn to concrete. I mean, they are rock solid, and most of this structure is supported by stone rather than wood. But like I said there, tonight it's kind of fast and messy, and you can do that with this because you want it a little messy. You want excess on your stone. You can always smooth it out later, and the weather itself is going to affect all of that too. So this is so tacky right now that if it falls down, it's picking up the blue shale that I have laid underneath it. Let's get one more layer up there. And then we have to make a run to pick up some more clay from the pit in the back. I'll show you guys that right quick, and we'll just keep on going here. We'll get you a different camera angle though, so it ain't so damn boring. What's at the bottom of my basket here's a little thin. Got a little too much water in it. Texture is everything when you're building with clay. You learn to pay attention to the texture. If it's got too much water in it, it might not tack up enough and hold to the stone, which is why it's falling to the ground right now, but it's still manageable. It's just not ideal quite yet. And you'll notice as I'm wiping my hands off, I'm always rubbing on the beams of the structure. That's just putting that clay into the grain of the wood, and it helps preserve the wood a little bit. Gives it that slight barrier of protection. If this dries up enough and soaks into that wood grain, it'll help it get protected from water at least a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and move this. I'll show you guys a pit real quick. I'm not gonna carry the phone with me while I'm digging out of the goes. So I brought in I don't know, 10 baskets of clay. I filled up the first basket with what was in the pit before. This is my mixing pit, just dug a hole. I take this powdered clay here, mix it with water, and then I just dig that out, put it in my basket, and haul it up front. And then after the building process is done, I just fill in that hole as if it never was. In this process is I will bag up about 10, maybe 20 bags of clay, Ziploc bags full of powdered clay, and have it real nice and dry. And I'll store that for the winter inside the shelter, so I can use that for patch. Like if I get a crack or the ice forms and cracks it all up or something like that, I got patching readily available inside the structure. All I got to do is mix some water with it, and I have that patch ready to go right here at the build site. So let me go ahead and fill the old basket back up, and we'll keep on building. But that's our progress so far here in what, 15 minutes? I'll tell you what, guys, after I mix this stuff up, it is heavy as hell. Whew, okay, I'm just gonna keep going with this here until I get all this stone done. I do want to put it heavier closer to that beam. Make sure that my cracks are filled in, obviously. Some of you guys have been watching this from the get. You're kind of seeing repetition here. A little bit of a rush tonight. Didn't want to rush, it's just how the day played out. Actually fell asleep earlier. And kind of threw my plans off a little bit. So when I got up and I got to looking at last night's stream, yesterday's stream, we went over 3 hours in that stream. And it's still in processing on YouTube, so I can't do anything with that video until YouTube gets it out of processing and gets it monetized. Like, it's there, you can watch it, it's right there on the channel, but I can't share it out or change any of the metadata or anything yet on that live stream, and it's because it was so damn long. A 3+ hour live stream. That was crazy, but we had a good time, and we found out some yeah, sleeping date night, that's what's going on right now. Got to spend time with the wife, and like I said, she's got me watching Bachelor in Paradise, so I have to deal with that. But you know, you do what you got to do to survive. And like I said, I'll give her date night tonight, and she told me, you know, she knows I need to be out here working and getting shit done, so just being fair about it all. She's really fair about it. Just trying to balance out, you know, everything that I do and time with her and all of that. Get a happy mix going on. Keep the fans successful, the channel successful, everything successful. And that one's a little bit short, but not too much. I don't think it's going to make a difference. So we keep going with another layer, but just fill that in good. Don't want a lot of organic material in here. Organic material will break down and cause this to just turn to shit. So you can't just use regular dirt. You got to use sandy clay mix. You can't just use topsoil to do this kind of thing. It won't hold up. And I do apologize in advance for missing comments. You all know I'll go back and read the comments. So if I do miss anything, that's just because I'm focused on this side and not your side. We might put the camera on the inside of the shelter here in a minute so I can see you guys while I'm doing this. There's a the idea. When I tried to do that a second ago, though, it didn't give me a good angle from inside the structure. Alright. Making good progress. I think we'll have enough stone to get up there. I don't know. I use these very thin and flat stones, which takes a hell of a lot more of them, but it's more stable because you just get more gluing in there, in between them, and it's easier to fit them together like that. A little twist, and you get a nice tight fit between one beam and another, so it's sort of pinching it all together. That gives you a lot more stability too while this thing's drying up. You get that tension from both sides, the gluing all through all of the creases and the cracks and all of that shit. These walls hold up good. Old Tom Ritter was in a live stream. I don't know if he's here tonight or not. I have missed a few people that have come in. Tom was with us on one of these streams while we were working on the shelter, and he's like, you just pack up and move in there by the time it's done. This ain't a survival shelter. This is beyond survival. We're building a long-term, semi-permanent shelter here. It's going to get us through the winters nice and comfortable. And the way we're building it, the materials that we're using, it'll hold up against a lot. So I guess if you're going to build something, you might as well build it big. This ongoing project has been really fun, hanging out with everybody and turning it into a community event with these live streams. It's a rare thing. Obviously, as I'm going up to the peak, I'm using less and less stone, less and less clay, which is good, and that's just because of the design of the shelter. It'll also keep a nice heavy base of gravity at the bottom of the wall and a lot lighter at the top, so we don't get a top heavy wall that's off balance anytime soon. Smearing this shit all over, getting it in every crease, every crack, every cranny. And especially up here against this beam, because that's where it tends to pull away from the wood. Some of you have seen this process here before. I mean, you watched me in the back. Hey man, how's it going? Glad you could join us. Like I said there, I apologize if I missed comments. I don't have the live stream set where the comments hold up too long, but I will go back and read them all when the live stream's done. Bigger one. Now I get this side done and all smoothed out. I still got to go to the inside of the structure and do it. So getting the creases on the outside done has always been my priority. I do the inside after it sets up a little bit. It's not a priority on the inside. Just got to get the weathering side done and nice and sealed in. That'll give us enough stability to hold the wall up until we get on the inside. And yeah, I am smearing clay all over the beams of the structure too. It gives us a bit of protection as everything's setting up. It's not perfect protection. It's not going to keep the wood from absorbing water or anything like that, but it will harden up. It'll give it at least some sort of barrier to help protect the wood, and it just brightens the structure itself up too. As this dries, it's going to get really light, and I don't want a lot of dark colors on the shelter. That's just a psychological thing though. Dark colors are just depressing. Down to 2 stones on the stick now. I might have to go to my other pile over there and get something smaller to finish off the peak. Judging from how this stuff acted on that back wall, it takes about a week for it to fully dry and really harden up. And it'll take one more layer. As it dries, it'll obviously crack because it shrinks up, so it'll take one more layer where I come out with a real thin layer and just smooth it in my hands like that, and basically just smooth it all out, fill in those cracks, and then we're good to go. It didn't need a second layer on the back, so I don't think it'll need a second layer up here either. Here. Perfect. The odds of all this turning out this perfect is insane. Usually it don't go this smoothly. Now I can start wiping off some of the excess on the stone itself. Keep packing it into the cracks, but on the excess I can use it on the top. Waste not, want not philosophy there. One stone fit there. We'll have to fill our basket back up. I think we can go one more layer though. We got enough excess here we can use. A little too watery. I wish I didn't add so much water to it. Our next is going to be a little bit thicker though. Alright, let me go ahead and grab one more basket of clay, and then we'll move y'all, and we'll be wrapping this wall up. There we go, and we still got about half a basket left back there in the pit that we can bring up. So we switch sides here so you get a little bit different perspective. We got a couple more pieces to put right there at the top, and then check the back, make sure all the cracks are smoothed in on the inside of the structure. That'll be our first outside accent stone wall done. I need smaller stones now. I did bring up some smaller pieces. I knew I was going to get up there eventually. Tell you what. I'll make some small stone. This one, maybe that one. It's like puzzle pieces now. That brings us to the top. You just got to seal in around the beams. a little down here at the base yet. Always go back to the base. Make sure I got a good footer down there. Sometimes it's not between the stones that where you get your draft crack at. It's all the way down at the foundation where your wall is actually pulling away from the ground itself. So we put the extra footer down at the bottom just to cut that out. Even if it does pull away, the way that this stuff weathers, it's just going to fill itself right back in. That is a pretty good wall. Go down our beam a bit. Otherwise, I'd just be washing that off in the creek. But right there we are, guys. That took us, what, a half an hour to get that accent up. So that's looking pretty good. I agree. Lego bear traps. You know, dig a little hole, throw a couple of Legos down there. If somebody steps in that hole, it's gonna fuck them up. So we got our first accent wall done. It took us about 40 minutes to get that wall done. We still have this other side to do over here yet. Tonight we're going to get the foundation of this other side done. That's got to set up overnight before we can stack on top of it. We need that, you know, pretty firm foundation. But you're going to get the picture just with that one side, right? I mean, we're just going to have that on both sides. So, yeah, looking good. Let's go down here to the creek. I'll wash off real quick before we sit down and put our foundation stones down. The foundation stone's usually about 3 or 4 levels, and I let it set overnight. That gives us, just like I said, the foundation. It's a nice solid base to start stacking on. It worked good for this side. Took us 40 minutes to get that set up, so another 40 minutes tomorrow the other side should be, and we'll be good to go. Just let me wash my hands off here real quick, guys, and then I'll sit down and chat with you guys for a second before I get all muddy again. And I'm buffering right now. Get back up here where we belong. You guys buffering on your side? I got a little too far away from my signal right there, so it started buffering on the screen. I don't know if you guys are getting lag or not. Did we freeze up for a moment? Hey, Jess, did you ever find your curling iron? Because it ain't out here. We got some extra stones on this side we can use on the other side. Just getting our extra material moved over to the other side, so that's ready to go over there. Probably has some extra stones by the time it's finished, but we still have a fireplace. Excellent. We still have a fireplace and a chimney to build, so we have a lot more stone to haul up here yet. Now, this wall looks pretty good on the outside. The outside is the side that you want to get done first, just because you need the stability. This is the weathering side. This is the side that's going to get hit with the sunlight, the wind, the rain, all of that shit. So that's looking good. But on the inside, it is still very raw and exposed. So we'll go ahead and let the outside set up until tomorrow, and then my first order of business tomorrow is to come back and fill all this in. By letting the outside set up first, what dries here and cracks here will give me something to kind of paste to, so it's kind of like a locking system underneath the stone. So this sets up a little bit, not completely dry, but pretty well, and then when the wet hits that, it locks in inside the stone, and it makes the wall that much more stable. So as far as laying stone walls on a bushcraft structure, very fucking time consuming process. That took time. The back walls are bigger, so they took even more time, and a lot more bourbon than what I got in this little flask right here tonight. But we did get our first accent up, which was primary goal. I was going to try to do 2, but looking at the time, I don't have time to do 2. We're only going to be streaming for about 20 more minutes. And in that 20 minutes, I'll talk to you guys here for about 5 minutes. And then we'll get to the other side and start laying the stone over there. Like I said, we'll only be laying the footer, 3 or 4 layers down there. And then I'll be hiking out and getting home for date night with the wife. Yeah, it'll be a good time. Tomorrow's going to be a good time too. For those of you who missed yesterday's live stream, you need a shot of bourbon? I'm a bourbon guy. I usually drink Maker's Mark or Devil's Cut. Tonight it's Maker's Mark. I don't drink a lot of beer. I drink more bourbon than I do beer. I probably go through a 5th of bourbon a month. I used to go through 4 bottles of bourbon a week, but I was having hard times back then. Everybody has a bourbon girl, right? Some girl in your past that you drink to, whether it's a clean breakup or something that happened to you a long fucking time ago, that one that got away, that's your bourbon girl. You drink to that girl without even knowing it. Anyway, yeah, I got my grandpa's flask here. It's a Jack Daniel's flask, but we got Maker's Mark bourbon in it tonight. I've done that before. Not a big whiskey guy. I always go with the bourbon. Yeah, or the one you wish it would go away. I don't know. Relationships are voluntary. I don't know how anybody gets stuck in them, but whatever. I'm not the best guy. I'm not the best guy to go to for relationship advice. Wild turkey. Yeah, wild turkey is rough. You got to be in a bad mood to drink wild turkey. At least I had to be in a bad mood to drink wild turkey. But I have gone through it with wine. Bourbon, I can drink it like Kool-Aid. Anyway, tomorrow is going to be an all-day thing out here. Jim Beam. I can't drink Jim Beam, Rich. The last time I drank Jim Beam, I woke up at fucking 3:30 in the morning at a truck stop in Indiana and don't know how I got there. I do remember the girl that got me to drinking the Jim Beam, though. She was a bass player in a band. I went to a bar to see her play in this band, and I got too drunk before the band started playing to remember anything as far as the music goes. And then I woke up at a truck stop in Indiana, about 250, 300 miles away from that bar. And I don't know how I got there, but my drunk self did know enough to pull over at that fucking truck stop and go to sleep. So no more Jim Beam for the old huntsman. Stay away from bass players. No shit. That did not go as I planned either. No, I think it was the Jim Beam. It couldn't have been my unique personality traits. I'm a nice guy. So I'm gonna smoke this cigarette here. We got about 15 minutes left in the stream, guys. Tomorrow I will be out here all day long. I'm thinking about doing a morning stream for those who are on different hours than the rest of us. We'll get an early morning stream in, and then I'll be back tomorrow evening for a second stream. So we're trying to get a lot of this done this week, which is why we're doing this thing. Shine is rare. You know, I keep seeing this recipe for moonshine, and they're just using vodka. That's not moonshine. If it ain't made out of fucking corn, it's not moonshine. And vodka's made out of potatoes. Let's go ahead and get over here and get a footer down before we run out of time. Like I said, I can only stream tonight for about 15 more minutes, 10, 15 more minutes. and then I gotta haul my ass home so I get home in time for date night, because Bachelor in Paradise is on tonight, and that is a priority thing for my wife. And whenever it comes to family time and spending time with your husband, that's what she comes up with, is Bachelor in Paradise. And when I see these guys on Bachelor in Paradise, it's actually amusing, because these big ass guys that they get on there have got to be the biggest pussies I ever seen in my life. Like, this is what America has turned into, a sexy male. Is these bachelors, bachelor, bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise. They're a bunch of fucking, oh my God, I don't even know how to describe these people. They ain't men, though, I can tell you that. They're just whores, all of them. And I make that commentary while I'm watching that show with my wife, and she just lets it go in one ear and out the other, because I'm old school and I just don't like, you don't want to, Jefferson. It's a girly thing, and the guys that they get on there are pretty much fucking women without tits. Anyway, I'm gonna get these stones laid here right quick before my clay dries out. I got me a big ass pile here. I got more stone than what I need. Yeah, I honestly don't know, and I'm not even going to try to figure out what America and what social media and what women, today's women, are expecting men to be. Because the guys I see on The Bachelor and The Bachelor in Paradise are anything but men, in my opinion. And I have a very humble opinion that I don't like to share with anybody, because I don't want to force my views on my audience. You know, I'm not known for extreme commentary. Anyway, we're gonna get some of this stone down here. I gotta get some of this stone down here tonight, and I gotta work this a little bit. Get our foundation stones down first, and then start stacking. You gotta give me a level playing field here. There's a Norwegian guy. His name's Bjorn Anderson. He does a survival series, but it's like Viking survival series. He's a historian. He has a couple of books out. Very awesome guys. Check out Bjorn Anderson's Bushcraft channel. And he took a look at American society and asked in one of his videos, "America, what are you doing to your men?" And ever since I watched that video, I watched things like Bachelor in Paradise, you know, taking one for the team and spending time with my wife. And I totally get where that guy's coming from, asking about all this alpha male syndrome shit. Yeah, see, I'm the alpha male personality type. I tell everybody on my live streams and in my videos, I am a dick and I'm ready to be judged. I just came from a different era. I swear to God. I am not PC, I am not domesticated, and the world is better off that I'm out here in the woods, I swear. And I'm happy with that. I've accepted it, and the world should accept it too. Those pussy-ass beta males that they have on The Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise and Bachelorette and all these other fucking pansy-ass shows should be considered themselves lucky that guys like me stay out in the woods and away from their hashtag little ass. Because they don't want to run into guys like us. And then we titled this live stream Survival of the Fittest. Do you honestly think these hashtag little pretty boys with all that fucking product in their hair are going to be able to survive if shit hit the fan? Hell no, they'd be screaming like a little fucking cheerleader who just lost her virginity while she got drunk and is afraid to tell her daddy. Ugh. Yeah, I see those girls on those shows saying, "Oh my God, he's so sexy," and I'm like, what the fuck is sexy about him? He looks like he's in the fucking gay choir, you know? And they talk like it too. One guy on there, he's all cut up. He just came onto the show. He's all cut up, and you know, he looks like he works out quite a bit. And then every time he talks, it sounds like he never went through puberty. And that's what's wrong with these fucking men, is they never really went through puberty. We've created a society where adolescence is allowed to go on forever, and you're supposed to act like a little fucking kid. Even with your YouTube content, you got to make YouTube content that's PG-7, or they're going to demonetize your ass. Here I am drinking, smoking, and cussing like a fucking sailor. Wondering why I don't get over on YouTube. I know why. We're a dying breed. Every man in this chat, I'll almost guarantee you, everyone who's still with me after all the shit I just said, guys, we are a dying breed. We are being replaced by these hashtag little ass fucking drone girly men. It's ridiculous, and it's kind of scary. That's our future. These pussies are the ones that's supposed to be taking care of us when we get old. We're fucked. But I will get fed some more Bachelor in Paradise tonight. And my wife will look at me and smile. And inside I'll be dying a little bit, and my nuts will probably shrivel up watching that shit. And then I'll have to come out here and do tomorrow and do some huntsman stuff just to get it out of my fucking system. But that's what it takes to survive a marriage. Alright, we got us a foundation laid there. I got a little bit of clay back here in the back. I got to go grab it right quick, and we got about 10 minutes left to stream. So I'll be right back with you guys for the wrap up while we're closing this foundation in. Guys, I think we got just enough here to go ahead and seal off our foundation stones. It'll set up by tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow afternoon we can come and whenever we start live streaming again, we'll get this second accent wall closed in. Live stream will be a little bit longer tomorrow. Hey, Tom, the living legend, Tom Ritter. Everybody, say hi to Tom Ritter there. And go check out his channel, and definitely go check out Deep Woods Bushcraft and Survival on Facebook. It's a Facebook group, so search for groups. Get inside Deep Woods Bushcraft and Survival. That's where Tom does a lot of his live streams, and that is one man that you want to listen to. I do not miss any of Tom's live streams. Sometimes I miss the live stream, and then I listen to it like it's his own podcast. Tom ought to have his own podcast. Setting the foundation stones here, Tom. We gotta let this set up overnight. I'll be back out here streaming again tomorrow night, and we're gonna finish this wall off and start closing in the front of our build with the storybook inspired face of the shelter, which is our door and the inside walls that on the inside of the stone. We got to get the inside of the stone cobbed up. So a lot more work is going to be done tomorrow. Only streaming for about, I don't know, maybe 5 more minutes here. We'll get washed up and call it a day, because got a date with the wife that I got to get to. I got a little bit of time. I could actually go probably another 15 minutes, but we're not going to be building during that 15 minutes. We're going to be just wrapping up and walking out. But I will be back out here tomorrow. We're going to do a stream tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, I think the first stream is going to be around noon. And it'll go for about 2 hours. And then we'll do another stream tomorrow, probably about this time. We'll come out around 6:30, start streaming, and we'll stream for as long as we can tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is free and clear. We'll get whatever we can in tomorrow. Thursday is up in the air because I do have to work Thursday, and I'm working a morning shift. I got to work Thursday from 9:45 until 4 in the afternoon, so I might stream after that. We'll just see how that plays out. If I do not stream Thursday, it'll be a fucking miracle, because it ain't really too hard to sit down and live stream with anybody. We might even, if Thursday's a little too uncomfortable, we might even be live streaming from my house, because I got some work to do on my compound bow. We're going to be adjusting the weight, the draw weight on the compound bow, and sighting that thing in to go deer hunting, because it is bow season. So let's take a look at this here right quick. We got this side over here done tonight, and we got our foundation over here done tonight with plenty of stone here to stack onto that foundation tomorrow. Once that base, that level base is dried out and we got a stable foundation to stack up on, we can do this right here, this accent right there, in about, we did it like 35-40 minutes tonight, so that'll be easy to do. It'll be an easy wrap up for the accents. And I'll grab this shit here real quick and take you guys with me down here to the creek so we can get a little bit different perspective of the build from a little bit further away. So there you go. You can sort of see the accent there, just that stone accent and that triangle. It offers a lot of support to the structure, and it gives us another fire reflective wall. So how that's working, just by way of quick explanation here, is we got a fireplace that's going in back here, stone walls on both sides of the fireplace. So the radiant heat coming out this way from the fireplace will bounce off of these stone walls and right back into the structure. We get this back and forth radiant pattern going on in there. And that is driven by our primary winds. We made our structure facing to the east, so the morning light will come in through that front door, but the primary winds coming from the west during the winter time will push all that heat straight back into the structure rather than dragging it away from the structure. So direction of your survival shelter matters just as much as anything else. We're going right back down here to the creek right quick, and hey, fishing. I'm just gonna get washed up. We're about to wrap up the live stream because it's date night with the wife and I gotta get going. So let me wash off real quick, and I'll take you guys back up with me to pick up my gear, and then we'll walk out together. I'm a muddy fucking mess, I gotta tell you. I apologize for everybody coming into the stream right now. We're about to wrap it up. But like I said, we will be live streaming right back here at the build again tomorrow, and we'll be doing 2 live streams, one in the morning, one in the evening. We will be streaming a lot longer tomorrow evening as we sort of wrap up the outer shell of this bushcraft build that we got going on right there. Tomorrow we want to get the second accent wall done and our door frame put in. I'll be doing a lot of processing to the build, wood processing for that doorway and this the outer wall there. So that's our build so far, guys. It's looking pretty good, but we got a lot of wood cutting and a lot of building to do on this thing yet. Pretty cool though, huh? Okay guys, that's gonna just about wrap it up for this evening. I'm gonna take you guys with me on the hike out so you can see the creek on the hike out. But tomorrow is our big streaming day. We will be here tomorrow night. We're gonna start about the same time tomorrow night so y'all can come back then and hang out. We'll get this other accent wall done. Try to get our doorway framed in there so we know how much wood that we need to process to go ahead and run wood beams on across to the stone walls, and start wrapping this thing up. That accent wall is looking exactly like I wanted it to look. Tomorrow it might dry out enough overnight to tomorrow I have to do a little patchwork to it, but right now that's looking exactly the way I wanted it to. We got our foundation over here on the other side. That's going to set up, give us a nice level playing field for stacking that stack of stone there tomorrow. Get that up to the point and it'll look just like that. So Bushcraft build is coming along a piece at a time. I do apologize for the quick stream tonight, but it's just the way life's playing out right now. A lot more detail tomorrow, a lot more fun, a lot more hangout time. And hopefully we get a lot more people in here because we're about to wrap this shelter up. I mean, we're on the last legs of the building part of it. The rest of it is a lot of detail work as far as chinking beams and stuff like that we will probably not be doing on the live stream. That's just added details. She's closing up quick now. The only thing we gotta do is that accent wall, our doorway there, get it framed out and put some wood up there, and then we do our fireplace and chimney, and the build is all but done. So I'm gonna let you guys walk out here with me for a bit as we wrap this up so everybody can say their goodbyes. I do want to thank everybody who came along this evening. I do apologize for the quick stream. Yesterday we streamed for over 3 hours while we were out here. We went on a hike, had one hell of an adventure, and about a quarter mile up the creek there, we came across a crystal embedded in the creek, and it's a massive thing. It's like the heart of the forest. This is something else I got working on over here. This all goes on the shelter later. It's just over here drying and curing out. But we found a crystal. A damn thing probably weighs a ton. I mean, it's a massive crystal right in the center of the creek. The creek has just washed it out. So we're gonna try to retrieve this giant crystal and find a way to bring this thing up to the camp. That's going to be on the Friday night episode of the regular Huntsman series, is us trying to retrieve this crystal out of the creek. It's an Ice Age crystal. It came out of a glacier. It's rose quartz, massive piece of rose quartz. It's got some clear quartz mixed in with it, and a lot of it's been polished off by floodwaters. But we're going to try to retrieve it, get it up to camp, and get it cleaned up. And we have some plans for it once we get it up to the camp. That's going to be our adventure this Friday night at 8 on our regular Huntsman series. Tomorrow, whenever we come out to live stream, we will be back at the build. We'll get that second accent wall done there at the front of the structure. Start closing in the front and gathering up the stone tomorrow to build our fireplace with. And the chimney, which is going to be a shit ton of stone and a shit ton of cob, and it's got to go up in sections because it's so tall. You put a section up, you let it dry, you fix all the cracks and all that, you kind of let it cure a little bit, turn to concrete, and then you put another section on top of that, and you just stack it like that so you have your stability as you're going up. You don't want to raise the whole chimney all at one time. You got to go up about 3 feet and then let it sit for a few days and then go up again. So that's going to be a whole process unto itself. A lot of wood cutting to do, obviously. And then we start chinking in the beams that make up the roof and put our grass cap on it, and our bushcraft build will be done. And then we can just come down here and hang out and do a lot of other things. Coming up on the channel, we will be live streaming. I'm thinking we're going to be live streaming on Thursday from my house. It'll be Thursday night. We'll be sitting there at the house drinking a few beers and working on my compound bow. So we got that coming up too, a little bit different content. I'll teach you how to adjust the draw weight on your compound bow, get it all sighted in and sniper ready for deer season. So with that, guys, where I'm just about out of the woods here, again, I want to thank y'all for coming along. I got a thicket patch that I have to go through whenever I get up around the bend here, and it tends to get a little tangly, and I don't want to take the chance of the phone getting snagged up and dropping off into the thicket patch and me losing my iPhone, because I've done that before. I have an iPhone out here in this woods, or up in HB's woods, that I've never found. So I have lost an iPhone out here filming before, so I don't take too many chances anymore. Almost out of the woods, and here I go into the thicket patch. Thank you guys for coming along. I really appreciate it. Tune in tomorrow. We'll say at noon. We'll do an afternoon stream at noon for those who have different hours than our evening streamers. And then tomorrow night, we'll start off tomorrow night stream between 6 and 6:30. It's probably going to be a 6 o'clock thing. I'll have enough of the work done where we can just kick off the stream and go until we cannot go no more. So tomorrow night's stream might just put us out here after dark, which is really kind of cool. I like hanging in the woods after dark. We will not have any survival gear with us. We'll just be out here working. Might have a knife on me. And it's an easy in, easy out, really. It's not like I'm going to get lost out here. I've traveled this a bazillion times already, just working on this build. But yeah, we might be out here tomorrow night, go on a little night hike after dark with no survival gear. How risky is that shit? Huntsmen shouldn't be doing that kind of shit, but that's probably what we're going to do. Anyway, guys, gotta go through the thicket patch now. Thank y'all for coming with me tonight. Sorry for the short stream. I gotta get home, spend some time with my wife, and watch The Bachelor in Paradise and see these little beta males acting like a bunch of crybaby little pussies over a girl that they just met. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank y'all.